Money soldier, I thought I told you. Only rockin' with the agent and the broker, yeah. Move over, we getting bolder. Making moves like the agent and the broker, yeah. Generational wealth, they bout that. Yeah, we took some L's, but we bounced back. Financial literacy, got that. Closing up the wealth gap, yeah, I'm black. Welcome to the Agent and Broker Podcast, hosted by Julian and James. And you know they bringing nothing but that black boss talk, man. Cause there's no currency stronger than the black dollar. And it's time we let the world know. But first we gotta grow though, and that's for sure.
Yo, what up?
What it do? What's up, brother? What's up, everybody?
Going on? Family, it's good to be back. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good evening.
Yeah, man. Hope everybody good. It's good to be back, man.
9 o'clock, Monday night, getting the week started off. We're in the holidays. Everybody during this time is just like out of whack, like no work. They don't want to hear about nothing.
Yep.
They don't want to do no work. They don't want to. All they want to do is chill, have fun, be around their family. But we're gonna bring that real and then the truth and then the facts and everything with life insurance. So we still gonna kick the financial literacy into you. So we still here.
At it.
Yeah, we still here. We still here trucking. 2023 is right around the corner. So we got a lot of things moving and a lot of things, to look forward to with the upcoming year, man. And a lot of growth in our agency for sure. So I'm excited in the financial field. Just, we're doing our thing. We're trying to do our thing and grow at the same time. So, yeah.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Pretty excited for what we got going on. Like you said, man, the holidays, this is when some people is just laying back, but for us, we go full force,
Oh, yeah.
We just double down on everything we're doing. So pretty excited for where the organization is going, what we got going on. By the way, man, shout out to Joe the realist. Like, if you see my jacket, I couldn't find my uniform, and I remember I have this this jacket. It says I am love, John 3:16. Just a cool little jacket. So shout out to him,
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Joe. Probably see Joe tomorrow, right? Is that tomorrow or Wednesday?
No, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're going to be in the Winter Park area with Joe. But yeah, man, pretty excited in the direction we're going. Very, very excited. Got a lot of new things going on, new strategies where we're going to be hitting the ground running. So doing a lot of the footwork right now.
Right.
But just getting ready, man, for the next phase of the business.
Yeah, exactly. And growing, making sure we're ready for expansion. Because it's time, it's time to build our army, continue to build our army and gather the right people, the people we need, to hit these streets, hit the grounds with us, man, because it's a lot of people and families and they need our help. They need us. And, we have the right tools to equip them, with things that will put them in a better situation. I was talking to this lady tonight. I was meeting with somebody and his mother came and she was talking about that, a lot of people she grew up with, their kids or, her generation, she admitted, just like my generation dropped the ball because a lot of people lost their parents' house or their kids lost this house or so-and-so lost that house and they just didn't educate and teach the kids. And most of the time the house foreclosed. So yes, when you pass away, debt transfers, guys. So, you have to have these things lined up and in order, for the next generation, because when you pass away, if you had that mortgage, whether it's a regular mortgage or reverse mortgage, whatever it is, that mortgage passes on and that next person has to pay it. Most likely, like I think it's reverse. If you pass away, you got to pay out the company. So it's a tough situation to be in, but
Very.
that's why we do what we do. We have mortgage protection plans, those things of that such that could, pay those parents. I mean, pay that family out. Like if they had a mortgage protection plan in place with a reverse mortgage, boom,
Exactly.
that person passes away, it just pays the reverse mortgage off. You have a house free and clear. So there's different strategies that we can get in the streets and start helping people with when it comes to life insurance, whether they feel like they need it or not. So
Yep,
I'm
for sure.
excited for next year, man. Next year is gonna
Very.
be
Just double down on everything, man, and bringing the education out. Too many people are dying without life insurance and transferring debt to the next generation.
right.
So many people dying without a will. At least this is like just basic that we all should have. And so many people who are dying without a trust, to
Hmm.
assets, but definitely, this coming year is a year to really double down and
Right.
just go 10 times of what we did this year. We're just gonna 10 it.
Absolutely. Time to grow, man, and take things to the next level. So tonight we will be covering, one of our favorite topics, of course, our favorite financial vehicle.
Yep.
A lot of people have these questions, but it was an article on Forbes that we saw and was like, yeah, let's talk about this. I like this. And it is why index universal life insurance might be the new 401k. So Forbes, there's articles on Forbes dogging IULs out, but we turn around and see this one. Like
Mm-hmm.
people are like, okay, there is actually a good side to these products if done correctly and properly. So today we'll be breaking down, why that IUL it might be the new 401k and where people are moving their money to, especially over the last 2 years, man. It's been crazy. Like I think IUL sales markets have capped all of insurance, honestly, in the last quarters or so. I know NLG they led last quarter. No, they led second quarter in IUL sales. So the
Mm-hmm.
IUL is really is becoming popular. It's mainstream now. People are talking about it, but I hope people are structuring them correctly. The way they're selling it, it's all
Mm-hmm.
about how you sell it. If you're selling it for infinite banking, you better structure it for infinite banking. And
Yep.
if you're selling it for retirement, okay, and it's structured
Structure
for
it.
retirement or it's college savings, whatever you want to, whatever your situation is, it should be structured towards that. And I think that's where we need to go is just better education. It's a lot
But
of
yeah,
miseducation. That's
better
all.
education. And today, as part of the orientation for one of our new agent, you was in the room. That was one of the questions that come up. And that well, it wasn't a precise question, but we touched on that matter. So when it comes to the IUL, when you're structuring the IUL, you must structure it based on the person's need.
Hmm.
You must structure it based on the person's needs. So it all depends on what type of outcome the person is looking for. Then you structure the plan accordingly. So
Right.
it's not just going, kind of like you buying a bag of apple and then you just pick a bag of apple and you walk out the store. Nah, strategically you need to understand, okay, what is the outcome I'm looking for? Am I looking for retirement? Am I looking for college saving using that product? Am I looking
Mhm.
for the maximum I can put into that product on a yearly basis? What are you looking for? Is it
Right.
just the tax shelter that's important to you? What are you looking for? And based on that, the agent can actually structure it correctly.
Mm.
That makes sense. So throughout my knowledge as well, there are some, I mean, based on the outcome that people are looking for, there are some people who structure it the wrong way, you know. So that's why you got to be careful, like who's structuring this plan for you, and making sure that the outcome you're looking for is what is actually put into consideration prior to setting up these accounts. But hey, if like, it's on Forbes magazine. Forbes magazine is actually talking really good about the IUL. Why it could be the new 401k is simply because it's a powerful tool, very, very powerful tool. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially when done correctly, man. These things are amazing, and a lot more people need to be hipped onto it.
yep.
I sat with a potential client, late last week, and This dude, he was on it. Like, he was asking the questions. He was so advanced that, like, most people wouldn't be where he's at. He's like, okay, he understands why the insurance company holds your money and then lends you their money and all of these different things, how the arbitrage works, how much, they're going to pay you, pretty much pay you for taking a loan against your policy. They're going to credit you money. He understood that part. I broke that down to him. He broke down the policy charges with me. We went through all of that. I'm like, dang. He's like, okay, so all I'm paying for is this, the cost of insurance now, once I get old. But he was like, okay, I understand the surrender charges and all of the insurance, the cost of insurance fees, the policy fees. I get it. Like, I broke it down why these fees are in the early years. The insurance companies, they pay out their employees, they pay all of their bills with those fees early. And he understood, bro. And it was just like, dang, I ain't never had a client like understand that. But the beauty of this product, man, is you can put a lump sum in it and then just fund it regularly after that.
Yep.
And that's what he wants to do. He wants to put about $10,000 into the policy up front, and then the next year just start funding it regularly. Like, he puts himself at an advantage when he does that, though. Like, boom, 10,000 up front, and the next year he starts at like $500 a month or something. Like,
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the best way to do it. Starting this policy, um, if you are able to put a lump sum, like in this example you just provide, that's actually a really really good way to start it, because you kind of like put give yourself a little edge starting the policy. So
right.
10K, 20K, 50K, you start, and then you put a monthly contribution on there. I mean, it's just such a great product, man. So if you can be in Forbes magazine and talking about why it could be the new 401k, people should really pay attention to this stuff.
Absolutely.
Because the boomers, like you said earlier, somebody you was talking to a client, and she literally say, "Man, we dropped the ball." So if they chance was to actually get into better product, well, this is our chance as young folks to actually get to this product early, so we can put our financial situation in better hands. It's not a free product, because it does so much. There is a cost to it. There is
Mm,
a cost of insurance. So when you put that money in there, part of the money go towards the cost of insurance to protect you through living benefits or death benefits as well.
yeah.
And part of it go to policy fees. So that contribution you're putting in, there are fees associated with it. But understanding the fact that having this product for long term, and a lot of people structure them for long term. Under long term, this is where you really win, because the compound interest that's going to be accumulating to the product is actually going to be way more than what you actually put in.
Right.
And plus you're covering your liability with the death benefits that's come to it.
Mm,
So it's like saving on steroid. That's what
absolutely. It
that's
is,
exactly.
man.
Hmm.
It is. It's saving in a better, more efficient way, man, and just more protection overall. So you have that, have that ability to get that compound interest, but also be protected if you get sick. So you're good either way you go. And like those costs and those fees that are associated with, like, you're gonna regardless, you're gonna pay those regardless to the IRS in taxes, bro. So, and it's not even going to be that much as you would pay in taxes if you saved $1 million into your policy eventually, and you took out $1 million. You're still going to be cheaper than what you pay on taxes.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so, I mean, the product is good. I love it, and let's see what Forbes is talking about here. So
Exactly.
that title was why index universal life insurance might be the new 401k. And this was done by the Business Development Council. As you can see there, October 3rd, 2022. And you see, so they asked, what was the difference between universal life and whole life? And it says right here, while whole life policies typically come with a fixed rate of around 3 to 4%, an IUL policy can be done at a higher rate of typically around 7%, a figure determined by the stock market and with no cap on that money if it's done correctly.
Mhm.
That's the way the IUL is capable of outpacing inflation on any whole life policy. So we're talking 7% plus with the IULs.
Hmm. And that's that. I mean, this is actually a great thing. And for you watching this, you should really take a screenshot and really look, reach out to us, and get more information into this stuff, because people always typically talking about whole life versus IUL, and they say the whole life is better. I mean, that's your prerogative. You can say the whole life is better. At the end of the day, we are brokers. If a client needs a whole life, we're always gonna give you a whole life. However, the IUL, in our opinion, perform better. You have to understand that 3 to 4% average from a whole life, yeah, it's cool and all. However, keep into consideration that this is actually the rate of inflation on a yearly basis. Inflation go up about 3% on average. Now we're
Mhm.
not even talking about last year or this year that it went up 7%, right, or more.
Right, right.
But anyway, way more. But anyway, if inflation is going about 3% on average per year, and the percentage in the whole life is 3 to 4% based on this article, think about it. You're only keeping up with inflation, which is not bad, because it's better to bank, with that than to just put your money in a bank.
Right, right.
However, consider the 7% with the IUL. If structured correctly, then not only you keeping up with inflation, but you have a 3 points to 4 points or more that you're keeping ahead of inflation.
You know,
So this is really, really big to look at the numbers, just to break it down to you in a different perspective when it comes
absolutely.
to inflation.
Yeah. And that's 300 to 400% more.
Yeah.
So that's most people be like that's 3 to 4% more, but you need to know that that's 300%,
Yep.
four hundred
Because,
percent more
yep.
in percentages. So like you're getting a lot more money on a return on your money than a 3 to 4% gain. And then it also stated that, if it's done correctly, there are uncapped strategies, meaning that you can cap at a higher rate than 7 to 9%,
Mhm.
just depending on the indexing strategy that you utilize. So there's a lot of good things with the product, man, that a lot of people just aren't really educated on, but that's why we are here.
That's why we here, brother.
Yep. So the next one was, how does recessions impact different investments? So a lot of people ask these questions. This is a very common, question. A lot of people are starting to understand and come into grasp with investing now in the year 2020, 2022. And between, the COVID period, people are interested in investing. A lot of people seen that their jobs weren't promised, so
Mhm.
people knew now thinking about investing their way to wealth. So it says how does that impact different from investments here, or the recession impact different investments? If we were to use the definition of a recession as 2 quarters of negative growth in your GDP, we would have officially entered a recession as of this past July. Now, how do you outpace recessions? Well, as inflation is currently around 9.1%,
Mhm.
let me ask you a question. What vehicles do you have to actually outpace inflation? So many major companies invest so much of their stock in life insurance. Why? Because they understand the power of compound interest. The same thing James was saying.
Mhm.
And compounded interest is like an avalanche. Once it begins to roll, you can't stop it no matter how much you try. Just like inflation. So you know, you fighting it right back with compound interest.
Mhm.
You got
That's
inflation, but you fighting it back.
exactly. That's actually right now, to the best of my knowledge, that's one of the top product to use, if not the best product right now. Because you got to fight inflation. And for those of us who's not fighting inflation, then in the short term and long term, you end up with the shortest end of the stick, because you're not keeping up. The value of money,
Oh yeah.
goes up. The value of the goods goes up. And I mentioned that as already in previous podcasts. In case you're listening, you're wondering how does inflation work. Inflation is the best way we can explain it is just think about it. Uh, Back in the early 2000s or in the 1990s, if you go to the store with $10, you can come up with like maybe, decent amount of groceries to actually take home and cook. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
90s, you can come
Oh
out
yeah.
with but now you go to the store, it's 2022 going in 2023, you go to the store with $10, maybe you get two bag of candies. That's all you can get,
Right.
so
Right.
everything goes up. And when you look at how everything goes up and prices when it comes to the goods that we use as necessities, such as food, as I just mentioned, and you look at your income, the money you use, well, what is your buying power?
Mm-hmm.
So if $10 cannot purchase grocery for your house anymore, then there is something wrong. So inflation is real. The power, I mean, the value keeps going up of what we use, but the money stay the same. So pretty much, if your money stay at the bank, it's not growing with the rate of inflation at a minimum. So you can actually stay in the surface. You're losing money. You're losing your buying power if
Mm.
your money just sit in a regular saving account.
Right.
You're losing that buying power because your money need to at least minimum grow at a 3% rate return in a yearly basis. So if your money is not getting that, then you're losing money. So in the long run, then that's why the country, a lot of us, that's why we are well, that's why we are where we are today, because we're not educated on how to at least keep up with the rate of inflation. Now, not
Right.
only keeping up, now how can we beat it? And as you can see in Forbes magazine, that just come up with this article, the IUL is actually a pretty decent vehicle that is compared to the 401k to keep up. The beautiful thing about the IUL is the compound interest. Like the
Yeah.
article just said right now, when it start flowing, it can't stop, just like the inflation. So it's just a beautiful product, and I just wish more of us would actually, know of it. But like you said earlier, man, that's why we're here, and that's why we're here to educate our people and everybody who's listening, our listeners. We're educating in the IUL to
Mm-hmm.
actually keep up with inflation.
100%, bro. It's it's key, man, and we're not gonna stop educating on it. So,
Nah.
our next one that we had was due to the market, we have too much supply in the system right now. As a business owner, now is the time to ask yourself the following questions: Who's my financial planner or my financial advisor? Number two, do I have all the necessary tools in place to feel confident I can actually outpace inflation over time? Number three, will it take me another 10 years or even 20 years just to break even with my losses during this last 90-day period? Or can I get those losses back within the next 3 to 4 years? While with the 401k, it may take you 5 to 10 years to get the money you lost back. But with an IUL that has been properly funded, you can get the same amount back much more quickly. That is all because of the unique way of which compound interest can outpace inflation. But not only that, you also have what is called zero ground floor with an IUL. So when that market did crash, your IUL policy did not go down with the market. It locked in. You have what is called lock in gains. So your gains lock in when the market crashes. If you were going up, your gains locked in right then and there. It didn't go down with everybody else's. Yours locked in where you stayed at, where it was increasing at. And then when the market started going back up, yours picked up from there. You didn't have to start from the negatives. You started
Mhm.
where you left off at. And it's like what are those monkey wrenches when they turn this way, but it doesn't go back that way. It just turns
Mhm.
going forward. So it's like that, that type of wrench. That's how the IUL works with your money in it. So you're gaining, never losing. And that's rule number one, never lose money.
Never lose money.
Yep.
That's it. That's really it, man. So yeah,
Um,
it's such a powerful tool, and I like this question. That is asked: Who's my financial planner or my financial advisor? Really, as individual, just like you have your doctor that you should do a checkup once a year at least.
yep.
You should have a financial planner, a financial professional who actually help you with your finances, to
Hmm.
do an evaluation on a yearly basis. And from there, you educate yourself on what's going on out there. What are some of the strategies, you can use to stay up, for your family, to at least beat inflation.
Right.
So such a great article, to bring awareness to the powerful tool that the IUL
Absolutely.
could. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, exactly. And like, let me pull it back up real quick. This one was another important topic here. So why might the IUL be better than a traditional 401k? So now we get into the nitty gritty of that
Mm-hmm.
401k and why, IULs might be better. They're saying might, really they know it is, but they don't have they can't just jump ship like that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
and tell
saying?
you it's
Like
better. Yeah.
it might, why it might be better. So there is reasons, people have reasons. First is a 401k is a tax code given by the IRS to tax you only on your harvest, not on your seed. The 401k model was actually implemented in the 1980s during the Reagan era for rich CEOs to have a tax shelter and somewhere to put their money over time. What they found was that if you convince the middle class to put all their money in the 401ks, you can also get more tax payouts later on in life and collect more from the middle class. This has evolved to a prominent savings plan for retirement, even despite the model having become outdated, as some might suggest. Oh my goodness, bro. The fact that this is saying that, like, it's embarrassing, bro. Like,
Woo!
they're literally telling you, like, what it is. It was for rich people, but they've
Yeah,
forced it on the middle class to pay more taxes.
to pay more
You
taxes.
never want to, like, this is so. I don't see. I don't know if people understand how crucial that first part was, where it said a 401k is a tax code given by the IRS to tax you only on your harvest, not your seed. So that's like if you're a farmer, bro. No lie, if you're a farmer and you planted all of these seeds and you waited years and years and you finally seen all of your seeds grow up, the big trees produce a lot of fruits and bearing a lot of fruits, and the government's like, hey, we want 39-40% of this of your fruits. You're giving them your harvest when you could have easily just paid the taxes on the seeds up front and reaped all, if not all of your harvest. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
bury a small minuscule portion, which will go to cost of insurance and little fees here and there, but the fees become fixed, so it's not even expensive. But you're talking about taxes, where you'll be taking out either every year or paying a lump sum out if you take all your money out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can save millions of dollars if you're saving millions in 401ks. You're doing it the wrong way.
Yep. And the sad part is when we're doing financial inventory for
Mhm.
clients,
Yeah,
they are putting more in the 401k than they're supposed to. That's a big no-no, big
that's
red flag. And it's like, our people, we don't know better a lot of the time.
yep,
So, I mean, of course, that's why we keep saying it. That's why we're here. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a tax shelter for the rich,
literally.
and it's definitely outdated. And this is the only thing that's been preached to us. And like Julian said, man, it's like you're a farmer. You're going to actually, it's like, no, we're going to tax you on whatever your gain is.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
don't think
plant,
people really understand that, bro.
nah, it's like you plant a mango tree, like one seed. That's what you put. But if your mango make 500 mangoes, you're gonna be taxes. You're gonna pay tax on each of these mango in the future. So that's what your 401k is. You're putting before tax dollar on there. They
Mhm.
match it, and it grows. It grows. So at the end, here you go. You have $1 million. Hypothetically speaking. Now all of a sudden you gotta pay taxes.
You're right.
So that's a ripoff. That's a ripoff. If you really think about the strategy behind the 401k, that's a ripoff. And a lot of people, when they go to the job, guess what? Oh man, I gotta go because they offer 401k. I'm taking this job.
Right.
Man, listen, we
It's
gotta
all
push
people
the
know. So
IUL.
when it's all they know, that's all it is. And then it's just like, oh, well, it is what it is. And this is
Exactly.
what I know. I'm gonna stick to it until it's too late. And like I said earlier, like that lady was just like, her generation dropped the ball. That was, very mature because most would never say that.
Mm-hmm.
Most in that generation would never even admit to that. So that was, something I was just like, wow, like somebody actually said that. And from that generation, that's rare, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely ever hear them say that they dropped the ball. They feel like they did the absolute best and they did nothing wrong. But like it is what it is. They did what they knew,
They did what they knew.
what they were told, and they took what they had and they made something with it. So at the end of the day, you got to look at the good in it. You
It's
know,
true.
but you still hold them accountable. Like, yeah, you did it wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Still got to let them know though. Can't go to the
exactly.
grave. Can't go to the grave without letting them know. Let them feel it in their heart first.
Let them understand. Yeah,
Yes,
you did what you
sir.
could, but there
Yeah,
was room for
boy.
improvement.
Oh yeah, boy. They'd be mad at that one, but it is
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
facing reality is not
All right.
fun.
So next one was life insurance presents certain advantages over the 401k. So with life insurance, you can anticipate that you'll always have money coming in, even when the market goes down. Your money is locked into a percentage rate determined when you bought it. And when the market goes back up again, you can get all of the gains that you never had to suffer a market loss. The IUL model is more complex as the rate is determined by the stock market, but with its compounded interest, this investment's cash value has the potential to make you more money tax free through the IRS tax code 7702. This capability allows you to access retirement tax free for the rest of your life, plus leave a death benefit for your children's children's children children's children. This is substantial amount of multi-generational wealth to leave your family. Mm,
Hmm. Let
sheesh.
let that sink in for a minute.
Exactly.
Talking about leaving a legacy and the distribution of wealth instead of debt. Literally, it tells you leave a death benefit for your children, children's children, children.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the article. Man, that's crazy, man. This is
Yeah,
this
bro.
is this is where things really get real, because it's not really taking care about yourself. Not only are you gonna be taking care about yourself, because this policy cover you if you get sick. That's one. This policy cover you uh, as a retirement vehicle if you structure it for that. So by the time you
Mm-hmm.
retire, you're gonna be receiving tax-free money through the IRS code 7702. So that's that. And also, when you die, the proceeds go to your children, your kids or your beneficiary, tax free,
Baby.
tax free. And if you really want to take this to another level, have that go into a trust. Have the life insurance proceed go in a trust, and then from there you can control anything and everything beyond the grave. But
Yep.
that's not the episode for that though.
Yeah. But
you
that's
know,
that part right there where it says leave it for your children's 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 children. That's the trust right there.
that's the trust.
You can assign your trust as the beneficiary in your life insurance policy, and you could take a piece of that, send it to your beneficiaries, and another piece of that, make them put it in the IULs. You can do that.
Yep. And you
The
repeat the
wealthy do
process.
that over and over. That's family banking.
Yep.
Like y'all gotta understand, this battle is fought in generations. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in your generation. But if you set things up properly, to for it to be built in generations and multi generations, you can secure wealth. You just got to be the person to take that leap and set the foundation. Yeah, you're not gonna get all of the fame, the glory, everything that they're gonna get, but it is what it is. Be that person to change the trajectory and the narrative for your family.
Exactly.
We a lot of us are first generation, going in the first generation of education and wealth. So don't feel bad if you're far, you feel like you're far behind. Like this is normal in our communities. Like we don't, we're not far off from when the slavery situation. We're not even far off from that. Like that was back in the 1800s. We're now in the 2000s, but that wasn't that far off. And most people mentally, psychology have not even gotten over that. So it's more so generations of trauma passed down, but you can be the change in your family's in their life and in the trajectory of your family. You don't have to, your kids don't have to go through what you went through. This information is out here. We're out here to help you out, and we're out here to educate, but also put you in a better situation. But most importantly, you need to be making money, right? We need to
Mm-hmm.
get you your skill sets. You need to up your income level. That's the most important thing, especially I can express that the most in our community is having skill sets and um, you know, increasing your income, your overall income, man. Most people settle, they don't know what to do, they struggle, they work at this job, that job, that job. I've been there, I've done that. But while I was doing that, I was working on my skill sets. I was freaking interning, working free gigs in digital marketing. Like I was able to get myself a job off of without a degree. I just had to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
But that allowed me to fund my policy where I needed to fund it until I'm now able to be full time in life insurance and digital. Like and that's what I do. And I can get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, trying to get 10, 20, 30 policies a month, doing a policy a day eventually. Like that is the goal, to be doing a policy a day. My agency alone will be doing a policy a day.
Mm-hmm.
And if we got 3 people, 2 people doing that, that's freaking 60 policies a month.
And it adds
You know
up.
what I'm saying? Like,
It adds up. Not only you
yeah.
protecting families, you're protecting their finances, you're protecting the next
Oh,
generation, but you also, in the meantime, putting money in their pocket, the future generation, and of course, putting money in your pocket as a professional to structure these plans. Bringing 2, 3, 4 policies per day in an agency, which is the bigger picture, it actually adds up. So 60 to 90 policies in a month, that's actually a lot of families being protected, and that's also a lot of revenue being generated through your agency.
mm-hmm.
So like you said, man, somebody got to stand up and stop that cycle. And with you and we'll never get tired of doing this. We come here and educate the people, tell you what's new, make sure we get the word out to you, do all we can do. So educating in your finance, because what we're doing right now, most of our parents never had the opportunity to learn it. And as you are learning it, don't take it for granted.
Absolutely.
Invest in yourself, man.
It's extremely important too. Investing in yourself, your education, but most importantly, self development, man, is key. And then when you work in our agency, we will hold you to that.
Yeah,
Accountability is there. You have the resources, the leadership, and you have the ability to develop into a leader. We want you to.
of course.
The whole reason why we do this, because someday somebody got to take this and run with it, and we can't reach everybody ourselves in our market. Like you have a market, this person has a market, anybody you bring in, they have a market who needs to hear this information, who needs to look to see, or who needs to educate themselves on what we have in these products. When we go to the chamber, every time we go, bro, those people learn something new, and we just need to keep shining more
Keep
light on
bringing.
that, like,
Mhm.
and keep bringing that information, because like you said, 401ks in this article, 401ks are starting to be outdated, bro. Like these things, people are understanding them. There's been enough time in between, people starting and retiring to see the aftermath of a 401k, and people are potentially outliving their money, or they're running into high tax brackets now. Like they tell
Mhm.
you that you're not going to be in a high tax bracket, but usually when you do a 401k, you don't really have a financial advisor at your job. They just, sign you up. They come in, they speak to you and tell you, these promising gains, but you're not really thinking about the back end of taxes. You're not thinking about procrastinating taxes like, oh, well, I don't pay that much on taxes now, but you're not thinking if you save $500,000, you're gonna be paying some hefty taxes on that because
Yep.
that's your nest egg. That's your money, your asset that you have. You're now in that tax bracket.
Mm-hmm. That's the
So
unfortunate part.
yeah,
It's like
right.
when you really need the money the most, that's when you're gonna pay the most taxes.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunate. That's how the system works. Welcome to America. That's how we get around. So that's just unfortunate for those who never educate themselves, because at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel, by the time most of us realize the 401k trap, it's too late.
hmm
It's way too late. By the time you reach, that 65, and you're like, oh, so that's how that thing worked. Well, that's not fair. Well, it's too late. I have this conversation so many times. It's too late. And yes, that means you have to continue working. Social Security is not enough. You got to pay taxes on that money. Well, why I have to pay tax? Well, yeah, because you got to pay tax on the offspring. Yeah, when you thought your retirement was going to be good, but you're not ready for retirement,
right.
you know? So that one of the good question I heard from one of the experts, and I usually say this to people, is, when you're ready to retire, will your retirement be ready for you?
Mm.
And then you let that
Real
sink
honest
in for a
question.
little bit.
It's an honest question, man.
Yes,
Honestly,
sir.
will it? You ask yourself that, like,
Sir.
or send this to your parents or whoever, and ask them like, will your retirement be ready for you when you retire? That's
Exactly.
a real question. Like, and that's a hard one, but it is what it is. We got to face the facts.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. What was our next one? I think
I
we
think
did
we
that
just
one.
went over this one. Yeah. This is the
So
next one.
the next one was making sure to investigate all potential models before investing. I think this was the last one. So, at a time when financial literacy is perhaps more valuable than ever, I hope my article sheds some light on the differences, potential benefits of these investment models. So, they're saying, make sure to investigate all potential models before investing. We don't call life insurance investing. Remember, in investments, you can lose money. Here, we're not trying to lose money. So we don't want to gamble with your money. We don't want you to think that it is. We're not going to call it an investment, but you can call it one if you want. Like, right? As financial professionals, we're not allowed to call life insurance an investment vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't look at their house as an investment, but some people do. So it's just all perspective at the end of the day. But to us, it's not an investment, and that's a good thing. Like I
Correct.
said, investments, you lose money.
You lose money. Yep.
In the life insurance IUL, you don't lose money. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
goal, is in making sure that you're exploring the models and really exploring what is out there. So you want to get what you want, somebody that can tailor a policy for exactly what you want or what you want to design it for. So, okay, this one, I want it to be, let's say in 5 years, I want to finance my car. So I know that that policy needs to have cash value available to finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surrender value. I need to make sure that policy is structured properly for in year 5, that he can take out, she can take out a distribution. Or if you wanted to buy a house, you want to put your money in there and then let your money work for you and then pull it out and go that way. So you can investigate all you want. We're going to give you thorough information. We're going to break it down to you, and we're going to be as transparent as possible when it comes to these policies. And James could vouch for that.
100%. 100%. So I mean, this is really straight to the point. If you ask me, it's not, like you said, we don't call that a investment, because you don't lose money on there. And if you are working with somebody, I mean, as a financial advisor, or whoever, one of the questions you should ask and consider asking your financial advisor, hey, what strategy or the strategy you have me on, can you guarantee me that I'm not going to lose any money if the market drop? If the person say no, I cannot guarantee you that, because you will lose money, because that's how things are, consider seeing a different financial professional.
Mm-hmm.
Because you must understand that, just like the article just mentioned just now, the 401k is getting outdated. Is this in the same token, a lot of investment strategies out there is really getting outdated, and people keep using those same strategies. So why? Well, some people does it simply because of, the bigger your portfolio, the more fees they can charge you on a yearly basis. So they're gonna keep you there to tell you they're gonna diversify your portfolio, and they tell you that when the stock market go down, it always go back up anyway. So don't worry about it; it'll go back up eventually.
Right.
But remember, we're talking about rate of returns.
Mm-hmm.
So when your money, if you have $100,000 in there, the market dropped 50%, you only have $50,000 left. But if the market go back up 50%, you only back up at $75,000. So the
Mm-hmm.
market must go back up 100% for you to get to catch back up in a 50% loss you did. So because you're calculating rate of return, I hope this didn't really go over your head. If it did, just rewind it and listen to it again. So when you look at rate of return, it's a whole different strategy. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the strategies people are using out there, they are outdated. And so while some of them may work, however, you still need something on your portfolio that guarantee you no loss. If you ask me, you still need something in your portfolio that's going to guarantee you a tax-free income when you take your distribution. So if
Right.
everything you're investing on you will get taxed at the end, you may have to consider doing something different. Because
Mm-hmm.
in the long run, what you need to understand is that, okay, what can I do to pay less taxes? Because you don't want to be paying a lot of taxes at the time you're going to need your money the most.
Right.
And the best question is, how can I pay no taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Zero taxes. And this is when we come in and we show you exactly how to structure a proper plan based on your needs, where you pay zero taxes. That's what the wealthy use. That's why we come in with that information for you, so you can start practicing the habit of the wealthy, so you can end up in a better situation than you got introduced to as a young man, a young woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's powerful.
Yes, sir.
Really, really good information and good stuff here. Hopefully you guys learn something today, and always learn something on our podcast. Hopefully we can, do a lot more of this. We do have events in person, so we'll be keeping you updated and posted on our events this upcoming year, to 2023. Looking for a big year, but also a lot of events in the community, and we're gonna start showing you guys what we do. We're gonna be having a lot more content coming out, and a lot of good things. We're taking this podcast to the next level in our business in general. So
Yes,
we love to
sir.
have you guys. Our everybody who has been supporting. Keep supporting and stay in here with us, man. We're in it for the long run.
Yes, sir. We growing every single time. The whole mindset behind everything we do is how we can be better, how we can make things better. We are willing to learn from people. We love people who have different ideas than us, that actually open the floor for discussion. Everything we do is like, how can we make this better? So we really appreciate you listening to this content, and any feedback you have is more than appreciated, whether positive or negative. We really want to hear it. So that's what we do, man. That's what we do. We, like Julian said, we're working on a lot of community event, expanding the team, growth, like a lot of great goals and big dreams for next year, especially. So very, very excited. So as we bringing you these contents every Monday, but we also looking in ways to sharpen ourselves as we're building and growing our agency as well.
Absolutely. 100%. So, hey, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Like, share, subscribe with like-minded people and people who can benefit from this information. Thank you guys for, listening to the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you're listening, YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the support. And, we look forward to this upcoming year. I think we have one more episode. Do you want to? Will we be here? It's the day after Christmas next week.
The day after Christmas? Yeah, I mean, we jump right in.
Yep. So we'll be back at it the 26th, and then that will be our final episode this year. So we'll be shooting out a lot of content, y'all. It's gonna be a lot. So y'all get ready. I'm excited, and thank you all for jumping in and joining us on another episode of the Agent and Broker Podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.
The agent and the broker put you on the right path. And if it ain't adding up, then do the right math. And when you wanna come up, some might laugh. But them be the types to be the overnight staff. Always be your worker. We tryna be some owners. Sometimes might strike out, sometimes we hitting homers. But one thing's for sure, when the money gets uncovered, hit the agent and the broker. Say thank you to my brothers.